Hey friends, it's Karen here at you again from Spring Creek. I am sitting on a picnic bench and it's 90 degrees outside and super hot. I finished my walk and then got a snack and some water. And so today I want to tell you a little story about something that I experienced on Thursday. So a couple days ago I spoke to you guys about how I had felt like I had lost my mojo, and one of the interesting things that I noticed from that was that I was not wanting to go deep. I was wanting to stay shallow. And staying shallow is unhelpful in a lot of ways because it limits our growth. On Thursday, I had a coaching session with a client, and we spent about 40 minutes digging into what she could say for her marketing about a certain topic that she wanted to talk about. And I kept asking, okay, what else? What else is there? When your clients experience this issue, what are their frustrations? What's the impact, good and bad? What's the impact of the service that you provide? What is the result of, them receiving your service? What are all the different things that you do for people? And we just kept drilling down and drilling down and drilling down. And I noticed that I wanted to stay shallow and not dig down and hop from one thing to the next. And I reminded myself that part of the reason people come to coaching is because they want to drill deep. They want to go and really mine the goodness of who they are and what they want to accomplish and how that looks. And so I stuck with it, and I helped my client stick with it. And at the end of the session, she was excited. The 3 words that she used were motivated, excited, and I threw in confident, because she seemed to have a lot more energy around what she was going to be doing and how she was going to be marketing. And if I wouldn't have stuck with it and drilled down deep, it would have been a disadvantage to both of us. She would not have experienced what she experienced. She would not be able to move forward in the ways that she wants and needs to. And one of the things that she said was, she was like, I'm so glad that we did this because I often don't know what to say. And that can be one of the things that we get stuck with in marketing, is that we don't know what to say, and we spin our wheels and get stuck in this loop. And those voices in our head say, you don't have anything to say. What you do have to say is unimportant. No one's going to benefit from your service. You're just fooling yourself. And we can get stuck in that loop of misery and madness and just all of this stuff. Sorry, I had to pause there for a minute. There are people in the background. But yeah, getting stuck in this loop of crazy and not being able to get out, and often having an outside perspective is so incredibly helpful for that, because the outside perspective is the one that sometimes gives us words or offers the opportunity to look at things from a different perspective and continue to ask the questions that we don't necessarily want to answer because we want to stay shallow. And staying shallow really limits our growth, as I said a bit earlier. There's no depth of goodness in staying shallow. There's no life Hopefully that'll be the last time I pause. Anyway, so staying shallow really inhibits our growth and our transformation, because if we're supposed to be the people that we are created to be and want to be, that requires work. It requires digging down into our behavior patterns and our thought process and our habits and all of those things that we don't necessarily want to look at because they're scary. They can cause fear. We're afraid that we might, find emotions that we're not comfortable with, and all of these things. But if we shift to a mindset of digging deep is transformational and joyful, then we can live from a whole new way. As I said with my client, she was so happy that we took the time to really dig deep on this particular issue for her, because it helped her. It left her excited. It left her motivated and joyful in a lot of ways. And I think at this time, that's what we need so much of in this world, with looking like we might return to yellow, or the looming threat of returning to yellow in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's no way to live. But if we can dig down into that fear, ask it questions, get curious about it, there's so much transformation that can happen within that. So much. Because then we're not afraid of that particular thing anymore. When we ask fear questions, when we're curious about things, like our emotions, it takes the wind out of their sails. There's something fascinating to me about how that works, and I don't understand it. I'm not a psychologist or sociologist, but it happens, and I know it happens because it's happened with me. And when we dig deep and refuse to stay shallow, the world also becomes a better place. And we need that so much right now, too. So I leave you with that. Dig deep, friends. Don't be afraid of the transformation that comes from looking under rocks and drilling down into who you want to be and what you want to accomplish.